Hello and welcome to Risky Edges. My name is Andres Chang, and this is the women's episode 2023. We did a women's episode last year, and this is this year's women's episode. And we have upgraded to not just one guest, but two, and not just virtually, but in reality. So, again, my name is Andres Chang, and to my left over here, this is Rosie. And what's your last name again, Rosie?
It's Rojas.
Rojas, Rosie Rojas. And to my right is Dawn Rivera. Dawn, Rosie, thank you very, very much. I really appreciate it. Rosie lives in here in Davao, where she works for a call center, and Dawn is a business person in Panabo. Welcome. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank
I
you for
really
having us.
appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you for
Oh,
blessing us.
I'm happy that you both are here. So, International Women's Month has already passed. We missed it, sorry, but we're gonna do the women's show anyway. So you're both Rosie and Dawn. You're both young. Neither of you is yet married. Neither of you has children. Why are you neither of you married or have children? Or is that, am I being sexist by making that the first question? And again, like last year, it would have been better if we had a female host hosting this. But again, it's just me and my tech guy. So please smash that like button, support independent media so we can grow. And why still single and why no kids yet?
Well, for me, I think I am single by choice
Okay.
because as you know, I'm 23, and I feel like at this age, I think I'm in the stage where I'm establishing not just myself but also my career. So right now I'm working, and I think getting married is not on my list right now. And I feel like if it's I mean it's gonna come, like it will come along if it's for you or if you're ready. So I think there's a right time for that. And right now I'm just working to pay my bills and yeah, support my family. So more likely, well, generally it's just by choice that I'm single. Yeah.
Okay. How about you, Don?
Well, for me, yeah, I believe that marriage is not a joke. Okay. So for me, stability matters most. So if you're not stable, then how can you handle marriage, right? So for me, as of this time now, I cannot say that I'm stable because there's a lot of things that I have to do. Okay. So especially not just in finances, you should be, stable emotionally, mentally, physically, and all of these things. All of this stuff should be considered. So as of this time, I'm working for my career. I'm working to make money, okay, for me to become more stable. And once I'm stable, and once I'm, stable in terms of, mentally, emotionally, then I'm ready for that. But as what I've said, that there's a time for everything, okay? We don't need to rush, okay? So first is that take care of yourself. Then that's the time once you take care of yourself, you have able to do everything you want, then that's the time that you can take care, okay, of your family, of the family that you will be having soon, your husband, your kids. So once you're not stable, then for me, you don't have the right for marriage. Because marriage is not just, enjoying things, it's responsibility, right? So since it's responsibility, you should make yourself ready for that. So I think that's all.
Okay. Okay. So, and again, maybe this is a sexist question, but so would you consider yourselves, at least at this point in your young lives, Rosie, you said you're 23. I was 23 once, a long time ago. Would you call yourself career women or career persons? Are you a business person or a business woman? Uh,
Well, well, at this age, I can say that I'm a career woman. Like, it's not that career is the only priority that I have because I also have church and my personal life as well, and my social life as well. Like I have friends that I hang out with, but yeah, I think my career is like something. It's if in its if you can say, it's one of my biggest things that matters to me most right now, but it's not the priority. Like it's not the only thing that where my world revolves in. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. Don?
Well, for me, I would say that yes, but as of this time, not really that stable. So I'm into, finding ways. So as of this time, like, things were, uh, things is not in display. Not what we call this one. Like, I would say, like, there's a lot of distractions, I would say that as of this time, I'm still struggling to find the direction that I want to. I'm considering a lot of things. But yes, I'm working hard to find, what really the best for me, because there's a lot of careers that you can take, but the thing is that you cannot really assure that is that career would give you success, right? So there's a lot of things that I'm considering, like, I'm working with this, I'm working with that, I'm working with this. But one thing that I've realized is that we have to take it one step at a time. So this is one thing that I'm doing now, like take this one step at a time, then once you're finished, then you're good to take another step, then once you're finished with this one, take another step. So that's for me, that's how you should be doing it, in a way for you to get success. So for me, I would say that yes, I consider myself as a career woman, because I'm looking for different opportunities. Okay, but I'm taking it one step at a time, because I've been a lot. I have a lot of things that I would say that it's not success. I've done with businesses, a lot of businesses, but I failed. There's a lot of businesses that I have tried already, but the thing is that I'm not yet getting the success that I want. So this time, I'm taking it one step at a time. So yeah, I think that would be all.
Yeah. Yeah, we could probably do a whole nother show just on businesses, because businesses, as you know, at least in the US, half of all new businesses fail, and something like 90% of all new restaurants fail, at least in the US. And there are a lot of people, I'm also a business consultant. There are a lot of people in the business community who have had failures. And there are even billionaires today who make deals, but the deals don't work. So we could do a whole nother show on that. But getting back to, this is the women's show. So getting back to women, I'm hearing your answers, and I'm hearing you put career first. So is that accurate to say that you both are modern women or contemporary women? And uh, for those of you who don't know, Panabo is close to Davao. Would you say most women in this area are like yourselves, or at least women around your age? They are more career focused as opposed to finding a husband. And again, is that a sexist question?
Yeah, for me, like, as what you can see now, like the Gen Z, they're more into, focused into, getting stable, careers. So they're not even like considering marriage, right? Because they see, how their ancestors suffer, okay, from being poor, okay, from being, call this one, like, having nothing, so for me, as what I can observe nowadays, most of the Gen Z, most of the women Gen Z, like they're focused into getting stable careers. They're into, like doing business. They're into like creating something, out of social media. Being a social, being an influencer, wherein they're earning, right? Like YouTube, TikTok, Facebook.
YouTube.
Yeah,
Yeah, me too.
Instagram. So, most of the Gen Z, they're very, creative, and they're like, because they're learning from their past, they're learning from the experience of their moms, dad, whatever, and they're realizing that life is not easy. Life is very, very hard, especially if you are, taking care of everything, all of these things. So that's why I would say that, yeah, most of the Gen Z now, they're, focused into, being stable, getting, more money, getting more money than all of this, like getting responsibilities, marriage, kids, husband, all of these things. So for me, they're into making themselves stable, rather than, rather than engaging, you know, into another level in life, like, marriage, families.
Please help me get stable by liking, subscribing, turning on bell notifications, commenting. Have you liked this video yet? So Rosie,
Well, for me, I can say that I'm in between. I'm not a contemporary woman, and I'm not also the type of woman that is, So basically, those people, I mean, those women my age are more into, career building, establishing themselves. And those people who are younger than me as well, I have seen a lot of people, I have seen a lot of teenagers that are getting pregnant at a very young age. But I'm not generalizing it, but I can say that I'm in between. So, yeah, so I am not the type of person that is looking to get married soon enough. And I'm not also looking to be, to be enslaved of my career. So, yeah. So I think I'm in between. I'm not the contemporary and I'm not the other. Yeah.
you mentioned teenage pregnancy. I'd like to touch on that, but before we touch on that, can career be too much?
Yes, like it can steal or take away part of your life. Like you'd be like there are times that you're very enslaved of your career that you tend to forget that you have family to tend on too, or you have friends that you should meet once in a while, or maybe there's like your soulmate or the love of your life that you could meet in this place but you didn't because you were at home working, yeah. So I can say it can be too much sometimes.
Don, can career be too much?
Yes, for me, like, that's why there's a lot of people that they would like, to have this life balance, so yeah, we know that we have all these responsibilities in life, paying bills, paying, bringing food on our table, and we cannot do that unless if we do have the career, right? If we do have, if we're earning from, from working, or from the career that we've been doing. So for me, it might be too much if you cannot manage your time. So it's like, for me, it's time management. So God is giving you 24 hours a day, right? So it cannot be like, it will really depends upon you, right? Because there's a lot of people that they would like to love working 20 hours a day and just, like living their life 4 hours in a day, right? So for me, it would be too much if you cannot manage your time. It's like time management, okay? Because as what I've said, that you have to consider that you're not just living for survival, right? You're living here to enjoy. So if you're doing a lot of things for your career wherein you forgot that you are also, you need, to relax, you need to enjoy, you have you have your family, right, that you need to spend time with. So that is something that it would really ruin your life. So for me, it can call this one like, for me, it could really ruin your life once that you're not able to manage your time.
So get me 1,000 subs, okay, people, so I can manage my time better and enjoy my life, okay? Okay. Um, can I asked this last year to my guest? Can women have it all? Can you have a husband and a career and children?
Well, well, for me, well, in the church that I'm in, we have norms and mentality and stuff like that, that a woman should submit to it, her husband, right? So it also means that you have to serve your husband, you have to take care of your family and stuff. So for me, well, as a woman, you can't take it all. Like, you can't have it all. So you have to find your focus on, like, in the long run. So you can't just be a career woman, a mom, a wife, and stuff like that. But you have to manage all of it, not in a way that, you know, like Don said, time management. So, but I can't say that you can't have it all. So basically, yeah, what I'm pointing is you have to focus on something. Like, if you would like to be on the career path, then be there. So yeah.
Is it possible? Let me ask you, Rosie, because you mentioned your church community. Is it possible, or do you believe that it's possible, at least in your church, that maybe God wants some of us to be single forever, or maybe God wants some, for whatever reason, in God's full disclosure, I am a Catholic, and full disclosure, I'm very familiar with Opus Dei, and in Opus Dei, we are taught that God has a plan for everyone, and everyone has a place in God's plan. In fact, Pope Benedict XVI, who was a friend of Opus Dei, someone asked him before he was Pope. I don't know if this is a true story, but someone asked him, how many ways are there into heaven? And his response was, as many as there are people on earth. So, do you believe, or maybe in your church community, do you believe, as is taught in Opus Dei? Because in Opus Dei, uh, we are taught, and I'm not a member of Opus Dei. I'm just very familiar with Opus Dei. Both of my parents were members of Opus Dei. They're no longer members of Opus Dei. But in Opus Dei, we are taught God has a plan for everyone. God wants some people to be single, some people to be single parents, some people to be married, some people to be married with children, some people, every kind of personal combination you can think of: married, not married, children, no children, married with children, married without children, celibate forever. And celibacy in Opus Dei does not mean you have to be a priest or a nun, it just means you're celibate. So, in your church community, is it possible that marriage and children is not for everyone? Some God would like you to, for whatever his mysterious reasons are, whatever his infinite mysterious wisdom that is beyond us. This is becoming a Christian channel without me intending it. So you're doing a good job, Rosie. Just but look at that. Look at that. Preaching, spreading Christianity by example. Look at that. Go for it. You go, Rosie. So, is it possible in your church community? Do you believe that God wants some of us to be single and childless, or all those other combinations that I mentioned?
Yeah, I mean, as you have mentioned, we have, like, we call this a gift of celibacy, right? And you don't have to be a nun or a priest if you're into celibacy. But just like Apostle Paul, you know him, right?
Yes, 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 yes,
He
yes.
didn't get married, right?
That's
So
right.
he was more on focusing on the calling, because
Yes,
his calling was higher than the others.
yes.
And he was more on preaching the word of God and stuff like that. So I believe, not, it's not something like, yeah, just like you said as well, that God has a plan for everyone. So yeah, I think part of that is, someone can be single, and I think someone can be single by choice as well. Like, if you don't want to get married and stuff like that, and want to focus on your calling, like in serving God, and you just need some confirmation from God, like a conviction from him that you're doing the right thing, that you're on the right way. Like you have to ask him often that, am I doing the right thing? Or but you know God has his mysterious ways, right? So if you think that you're gonna be single forever, you don't want to get married, that's your choice. But once God moves, like you can bump into that person somewhere randomly, and then you're gonna have this conviction and vision that he's gonna be the one. So I think if God wants you to be married, he would let you know, right? Even though it's your plan not to get married. So yeah, I'm more into God has planned for everyone that we don't know. So we just have to trust him.
Okay. In one of my previous videos, I said this is not a travel vlog, okay? And but there's nothing wrong with travel vlogging. This is not a Christian vlog, but there is nothing wrong with Christian vlogging either. One last question about religion. Maybe it will not be the last question about religion, but what would you say, Rosie, to someone who says, because this is very interesting. One of the reasons why, getting back to Pope Benedict the 16th, why he resigned, he said sometimes he felt God was silent. So, what would you say, Rosie, to someone who says, Rosie, I read the Bible every day and I pray every day and I talk to God every day, but I just don't feel like he's talking back to me? What would you say if you have an answer to someone who says that?
Well,
Or what do you think your pastor would say?
yeah, personally, I was thinking the same thing too. I mean, too, before. Because I feel like he's not answering back. I've been reading the Bible and reading his word every day. I've been reading Proverbs every day. Fun fact. So, but it's not just more on reading. He can not just speak with you through the Bible as well. So he can speak with you like through conviction, or sometimes randomly. Like if you're like today, you would pray for, Lord, I want to get this job. I badly want this job and stuff like that. But sometimes, of course, not literally like in the Bible he'll say you'll get this job and stuff like that. You have to read between the lines as well. And then of course you have to apply. I mean, you have to do application as well. If you want this job, and then it is for you, God will give it to you. Like if for example you want this job, and then God wants this job to be for you, he will like make this job like answer you back, right? And all you have to do is be on time, stuff like that. You have to act on what is God is giving you. So I feel like God is not silent. You just have to listen carefully. Like he is everywhere. He's omnipresent. And I think someone saying that God is silent is someone who's not listening carefully. I can say that. But you can't just listen by ear. You can listen by heart, or by sight, or by your mind. You can listen in different way, because like the old saying, if they want to, they could, right? Yeah, so that's my views through that.
Mama Maria, please give me 1,000 subs. So, Don, can women have it all? Job, career, husband, and children.
Well, for me, it depends with the person. Okay. So if you think that you can have it, you can have it. But if you don't think that you cannot have it, you cannot have it. It's all in the mindset, right? So for me, I can have it all. I can be a wife, I can be a mom, I can have a career as well. So for me, it would really depends with your, I mean, with how the way you think. Okay, because for me, these are all important. Okay, so if you are about to, engage in marriage, it's important that it should be equal. Like I mean, like you have to give priorities of all of these things. Like so, if you would enter the marriage, so of course you have to give importance, priority with your husband. And if you have already the kids, you have to also prioritize your kids. And if you are doing career, whatever, you also have to prioritize your career, right? So all of these things are equal for me, okay? So for me, you can have it all, okay? It just depends with, how the way you think and your time management, okay? So, because there's a lot of, as what you can see nowadays, right, that there's a lot of influencer that, there are, like, career oriented. At the same time, there are mom, and they are, they are, I mean, wives, right? So if they can do it, why we cannot do it, right? So it would really depends with your priority, and, your time management, and the way you think. I think that would be all.
I hope to be an influencer. 1,000 subs. Come on, people. Like, did you like yet? Um, before we, I want to get to teenage pregnancy, but before we get to that, what would your mothers say? Like, if I was interviewing your moms right now, or when they were your ages, because your moms are gonna see this. Yeah, mom's watching. Maybe. I don't know. Does my mom have a smartphone? Would your mom say the same thing? Is there a generational divide? In your impression, Filipinas your age versus your moms, what would they agree with what you're saying? Disagree? Some parts agree, some parts disagree. What do you think?
Well, for me, I think my mom would be halfly disagree and halfly agree with me, because first of all, my mindset was taught by her, so I think I'm more on following what she's been telling me for years now. And of course, some of those things that she disagree on would be my mindset that I have like learned from people I hang out with most of the time now that I'm 23. And yeah, I think maybe she thinks that no, that's not like that, that's not what I thought told you. But there are things that I've discovered, through the years, that I'm apart from my mom. So yeah, I think she'll happily disagree and agree.
Mm.
For me, like, my mom's has different perspective in life,
Mm-hmm,
because,
mm-hmm.
like, I mean, she's working when she was 6 years old, like,
Mm.
doing all of this stuff. Like, she's working as a servant, so she has really different perspective in life. That's what I was trying, to tell her, that God has really, I mean, He has really good plan for us, So those things you have experienced, it doesn't mean that we should experience all of those, all of those hardships that you have been through, right? Because it would really depends how the way you think. Because my mom is like telling me that, when I was, when I was in a college, like, I was trying to, they think that I cannot finish my college because we're poor, right? We don't have money, to spend for my college, for my tuition fee, and even we're having the hard time, eating. I mean, like, they're having a hard time providing for us, like living in a comfortable life, comfortable life. Like, they're having really a hard time, putting food in our table. Okay, so that's why she has different perspective. But yeah, I would say she might not agree that as a woman we can do all of these things, like, like being career woman, at the same time being a mom, or being, being call this one a wife, because, like, they have this traditional mindset, right? Like, if you are a wife, you are just a wife. If you're a mom, you're just a mom, and you cannot do another thing, right? Those things that you love. Because what they're thinking is that once you get into marriage, okay, that is the whole life that you have. Okay, you have to serve your husband, you have to cook whatever, doing this dishes, doing this laundry, and that's it. Because that is your responsibility as a woman. But now, but as what we can see nowadays, right, that women were more empowered, right? Because they see things, right, that they can do these things. I mean, what the other men can do, right? They can do business, they can do all of these things wherein they can earn more money than men do, right? So for me, and she might not agree, but yeah, that is what I'm trying to tell her, that you know, women has, the equivalent opportunity with men. Okay, so they can do all these things. Okay, so yeah, I think that's all.
Okay. Okay. You know, this is very interesting. And full disclosure, my parents. I'm a U.S. citizen, but my parents were born and raised in Guatemala, which is a poor country, similar to the Philippines in the sense that I'm not sure what the correct phraseology or terminology is. Poor country, developing country,
Third world.
or third world country. There's a lot of crime. There's a lot of violence. There's a lot of poverty. There's a lot of corruption. There's not a lot of crime and violence in Davao, but in the rest of the Philippines, there's a lot of crime and corruption and violence and poverty. And there's a lot of poverty, sadly, in Davao. My parents, they got pregnant first. I don't care if you guys know that I'm revealing that, but that's a whole nother video. My parents, they got pregnant first, then they got married. My mom dropped out of college to marry my dad. And I'm just curious, what are your educational levels, and what are your mom's?
Well, I'm a senior high school graduate, and my mom was a registered midwife, so she had finished a degree, and yeah, she's a professional midwife. So yeah.
Me, I'm a college graduate with a course of Bachelor of Science in Food Technology. But yeah, I didn't, push through with that course. But yeah, I just, I just, try another venture. Like I venture another thing. And my mom, she was not able to, graduate in college, in high school. She's just like third year. So, yeah.
Hmm. So let's talk about teenage pregnancy. The Philippines recently either stabilized their birth rate, or the birth rate stopped increasing or it decreased. Tell me your thoughts, if you have any. Why do you think that is? And what do we do about teen pregnancy in the Philippines?
As far as I know, the teenage pregnancy rate dropped down, right? And well, I've heard this somewhere. I think in social media, I guess it was on Facebook that one of the reasons why is that girls nowadays are dating girls as well. So yeah, it's it's not possible to get pregnant with that, and maybe also those other people. I mean, the other percentage of women are more on their careers, or not getting married by choice, or not getting pregnant by choice. So they're very, very careful nowadays not to get pregnant because the cost of living today is much higher than before. So yeah.
So as what we know that I'm not sure regarding with the percentage now, right? I mean, if it's like higher or lower compared to last year. So for me, what we can do with teenage pregnancy is that uh, we should take care of our young people, because the thing that we could do for them is really like for them to realize that life is not easy, So there's a lot of young people were engaged with these things and they get pregnant so early because they don't really realize, the consequences of what they will be doing, or the consequences of what they're done. Okay, like having this sex out of marriage. So the thing is that we have to, influence those young people, with this good mindset that, you know, um, the future matters most, right? That their lives matters most, because at the age of, let's say, most of the teenage here, like they got pregnant at 16, 15 years old, and at that time they should enjoy their lives, right?
Mm.
Like they should be playing, they should studying, and they should be working towards their goal, to their, maybe like doing, schooling, whatever, or maybe like doing business, right? So that is the thing that we should do. We should impose to the young people that life is not easy, and like, I mean, uh, pregnancy, or like, I mean, engaging with these things is a responsibility, and it's not a joke, right? Because they have to realize like how costly to have babies, right? So this is the thing that we should impose to them, right? Like, I mean, other than sex education, whatever, I know, like, there's a lot of, I mean, like, Philippines, we're doing that already, like government, like imposing these things about sex education for the for the young people, just to make sure that we're preventing them from early pregnancies, right? So other than that, we have to, I mean, we have to impose them like goals, right? And then they should be involved with those things, like, for example, like creativity, right? Or maybe like they should be involved with a lot of things, that maybe sports, whatever, that would really, would really like, their mind would really, call this one, would see, right? Like, they would see that there's life, like, there's life other than these things, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
there's more, okay? So they should, yeah, that's the thing I would say. Like, we have to impose them the, I mean, the thing that it would really, we call this one, like, it would really, uh I would say, like, those things that would really make them, doing, like, I would say, how I would say this, it's like about, like, imposing them that this thing they should, I mean, they should be learning with whatever. So I think that would be all.
Okay. Lot to unpack there. A lot to unpack. Okay. Personal question. Don't have to answer. Did your parents get pregnant first?
My mom got me. Um, she's already well established, so. But my biological mom, she got pregnant at a very young age. She was still a teenager, I guess. She was in high school when she got me. She got pregnant with me, and then she like gave me to someone else, who is the one who raised me. Yeah. So I was a product of teenage pregnancy. So
Mm-hmm. And she turned out okay.
yeah, it turned out
So,
okay.
hey. Pregnancy is no joke.
Mhm.
Okay. Teenage pregnancy is no joke. But at the same time, it is not a condemnation. It is not your destiny. Because look, getting back to my parents, look, their marriage was flawed. They got divorced, but look, they're not, and my parents are by no means the first people to get pregnant first, but they got pregnant first. They got married. They had eventually had 6 kids, and then they got divorced. And look, of my parents, of their 6 children, none of us are in jail. None of us are in the hospital, and we're all still alive.
Yeah.
So, my parents, as much as I dislike both of you, hey, listen to what I just said. None of the 6 of us are in jail, in the hospital, or what was it? And we're still alive. Okay, hey, not that bad. All right. And I won't go into the details of why I don't get along with my parents, but I know they love all 6 of us to death. But I'm the favorite of both, and I hope I'm your favorite channel, Risky Edges. Like, subscribe, turn on bell notifications, comment, please. Did you like this video yet? So Don, did your parents get pregnant first before they got married?
Yes. So actually, I have 3 siblings. So they got pregnant with our eldest. Like, I mean, my mom was, she was like 22, I think. So they're not yet married. So they got married because she was pregnant. So yeah, yeah. But for me, that's okay, as long as they have, I mean, they have decided, to take the responsibility, right?
Mm-hmm,
But
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
when my mom got pregnant, okay, even that she was afraid because she don't know anything, right? Like she was still in high school at that time. She's 22, but she was still in high school, right? So she don't know about anything regarding with what is life. I mean, what should be the next step after this one. But the good thing is that they just take responsibility. They just whatever that it was already done. Okay, they're taking it. This is our responsibility that we have. I mean, she has to give birth. With the kids, not thinking about abortion, all of these things, right? And yeah, that's it. So for me, it's already happened, right? So I agree with you. It's not condemnation, but we're not encouraging because
Absolutely.
we're not
Absolutely.
encouraging teenage pregnancy because
Right.
it's not easy, right?
Right.
Even me, I'm not. I don't have kids, right? But for me, it's not really easy because I'm seeing a lot, that they're really struggling in a daily basis. Like, I mean, providing for their kids, milk, whatever, diapers and all of these stuffs. So it's not easy. So for those, young people, it would be better that you have to, focus to your career first, okay? Make yourself stable, okay? Earn money as much as possible, and then once you're stable, then you're good, right? Because like there's no such things as for free here in the Philippines, or maybe in this life that we have, okay? You have to have your own money, okay, for you to be able to sustain, right? So for me, for those teenage there, for those young people, focus to your career first, and I mean, like, focus to your career first and make money. I mean, as much as you can, okay? And then once you're stable, once you feel that you can take the responsibility, then that's it, okay? But this time, like, if you're still, I mean, studying, working out with whatever that you're doing, maybe your career, business, whatever, focus to that, okay? Instead of, I mean, engaging with these things, because there's a time for everything. That's it.
Yeah. Okay, we're running out of time. There's so much more I want to talk about. What do we do about in the Philippines about men who hit their wives?
Well, it's a common knowledge that hitting anyone, not only wives or women in particular, is very wrong. So I think um, a restriction order would be not enough for someone who's like that. And I it's not that I'm generalizing, but most of those people that I know that hit their wives or their partners are like, even if they say that I won't do it again, they're gonna do it again if they snap. So I think getting in jail or putting them behind the bars isn't enough. I think since there's no divorce here in the Philippines,
We haven't even talked about divorce yet. Anyway,
yeah,
let's go.
but
So much to talk about. So much to talk about. Anyway.
yeah, but I think if you can't be gentle to your wife, just leave them or support your family financially. You know, someone's calling.
That's how popular I am, you guys. So you see, you gotta like. Have you liked yet? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. So yeah, as what I'm saying, if you can't be gentle to your wife, and if you get angry and then you're gonna hit someone, just stay away if you feel like doing it, or don't get married in the first place. So since this case has been going on for a very long time here in the Philippines as well, and maybe in the other countries, so I think what would be the best solution is put them behind the bars. And I think that's not a very, very heavy or a big crime, right? As much as killing someone. But I think a restriction would be better. Like, just stay away from your wife. Just don't hit them. If you can't maintain or be gentle to them, just stay away.
Okay. Now we're running low on time. So let me ask you, Don, a different question. What do we do about these men who leave their wives and their children? Like, she's pregnant and he runs away. Or sometimes he has more than one child with a woman and then runs away. Maybe uh, maybe he cheats and then runs away. What do we do about men for whatever reason are they leave their wife and their children, and the wife and children never see the guy again? What can we do about that here in the Philippines?
Yeah, for me, they're coward. You know, those men are coward and they're not real men, right? So for those, I mean, men that were leaving their kids and their, you know, their partners or whatever, like they're living it, they're not supporting it financially, whatever. So the law must have to do with that. You know, we should impose law for them, okay? Particularly with these issues, that those men that cannot provide, okay, for their kids or will not support for their kids, you know, we should, I mean, the government should, you know, put some, or should
Intervene.
create a law for for this, you know, for for this situations, or let's say for those men that were not paying, were not supporting their kids, okay? that that because, you know, like, if we have the law, okay, and if we have the law, there will be, you know, they will be scared with that, okay? So unless that, once the government, you know, create a law regarding with these issues, you know, so those men might be scared or might get afraid, and then that's the time that they will, you know, do their part, okay, as a father, you know, support their kids, okay? So for me, the government has to do with this. They're really the one who are, you know, I mean, they have to take in charge with this one, because, I mean, men, we're not putting it, we're not taking it seriously if we don't have the law, right? But once the government, you know, create a law with these issues, particularly for this uh, people, or for these men, we're not, you know, supporting kids, then that's the time that, you know, we can, I mean, we could say that the numbers of those, you know, single moms, you know, those, I mean, will decrease, or maybe like those parent, like, you know, supporting their kids, you know, like sole parents, right? So that's it. So nothing we can do about that, as, you know, as
Commoners.
yeah, as a citizen, but this must be addressed by the government itself. Yeah. So that's it. You know, if government will just put, I will just create a law, and then this law should be, you know, imposed, then that's the time that, you know, it will be it will be taken it seriously. That's it.
Yeah. You know, I just I have a really quick funny story. Years ago, excuse me, back when I was in high school, a friend of mine, a female friend of mine, she says to me, she says, Andres, listen, what do you do if you're 17 years old and you don't know how to cook, you don't know how to iron clothes, and your boyfriend wants to marry you? So and this friend and I had an interesting conversation. Anyway, so we are running out of time. Uh, Don, should we give birth control and condoms to teenagers?
Yeah, as much as I mean, the government have been doing this for quite some time now. I think it's not working much because most of men, they're embarrassed. I mean, not men, the boys, like the younger generation, they're very embarrassed to get one. I have remembered because back in school, there's this
So they're too shy to,
get
maybe the condoms are available, but they're just too shy to
get
go
one.
to the adult who has the condoms and
Yeah.
says, "Can I have a condom, please?"
Yeah,
Or some.
exactly.
Oh, okay,
Yeah, they don't want to accept it.
okay,
Yeah, they don't accept it. Even the pills for the ladies, they don't want to receive it as well. They don't want to take it. So
okay,
yeah.
okay.
But it's been going on in the Philippines. Like they've been doing that. It's a program that for birth control, the
Mm.
condoms and the contraceptives pills.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. So, different question, Don. Should abortion be legal and safe in the Philippines?
Well, for me, abortion is a different thing, you know. So for me, I don't want that this thing should be legal here in the Philippines. Why? Because for me, I mean, that is life, and it's like, it's. I mean, if Philippines will have legal, I mean, if Philippines will legalize abortion, it's just like they're legalized killing, you know. So for me, um, abortion should not be legalized, okay? Because in the first place, it was a choice of both partners, right? And then, I mean, yeah. And second is that, um, as we know that it's already a life, right? Like once it was already. I mean, it was already in your womb, right? And it was already fetus, whatever. So it's considered already as a life. So we don't have any right to take life, or to kill lives. So I don't agree that this abortion should be legalized in the Philippines. Not just because we're Christians, and the thing is, of course, like it's like God given life, okay, and no one should take that, regardless what would be your situation. The best thing is that if both partners cannot I mean, they're not able, or they cannot provide for the kids. The thing they can do is just they can give the kids, right? Because there's a lot of like couple that they want kids, however they cannot, right? Because they have problems. So the best thing they can do, okay, once the girl is already pregnant, then she's not able to do the responsibilities as a mom. So the best thing is that she can go to the government anywhere or whatever. Then like she can have the kids adapt by someone who cannot bear kids, right? So for me, that's it. That's the most thing that they can do, right? So I cannot blame if there's a lot of people where like they're giving the kids out, they're sending it to them, like what I call this one, like I mean sending it to, I mean like giving it to anyone as an to adopt the kids, because they know that the responsibility is not a joke, and maybe they're not yet ready. So instead of doing the abortion, they can give out the kids, once they can give up the baby, right? And then have someone adopt it, other than killing the baby. So yeah, I think that's all.
Okay. Last question for both of you. What would you say to a girl here in the Philippines who is 13 years old? Dawn. I mean,
Rosie.
Rosie, sorry.
Oh. For the younger generation, especially the 13 years old people out there, at that age, you should be enjoying your youth. You should be fangirling over K-pop idols or anyone. Just
You can fangirl over me too.
yes, subscribe, and I think what you should do now, just enjoy your youth. Just be the little girl that you've always been, and if ever you fall in love at a very young age, just don't take it very, very seriously to the point that you get pregnant, Just avoid it at all costs. Because aside from that, you know, it's a trap, to be honest, to get married at a very young age because, it could take so much life in you. Like, it could be very, very, very sad in the future and you're gonna have so much regrets in the future if you won't be enjoying this life now. So yeah, just enjoy life as much as you can. Yeah.
For me, for the 13-year-old, um, I mean, enjoy the days of your youth. That's it. Like, because there's a season for everything, right? So we should not, as a 13 years old, because me myself, like if I'm seeing my 13 years old, I'm just, like, like doing these stuffs, like, playing, because that time will not come back, okay? So for me, enjoy the days of your youth, okay? Do whatever that, that finds you, happiness, but not to the extent, okay? You should know your limitation, right? So you should know, your limitation at the same time you're enjoying it, right? So for me, reserve yourself, like for those things that it's not proper for you as of this time, because there's as what I've said, there's a time for everything. Okay, do not just chill, just relax, and then just like discover yourself. What are those things that you want to do? So yeah, that's it. And then other than that, like yes, just enjoy your time, because that time will not come back. Okay, once you're done being 13 years old, it will not come back next year. Okay, it would be another year of your life, like another year. So as of this time, do whatever you want, not to the extent that like doing those things that that you should not be doing it. Okay, I think that would be all.
Okay. We could have talked about so much more. There was so much more to unpack, but we're out of time. Rosie, thank you so much.
Thank you
Don,
so much.
thank you so much.
Thank
You
you.
so much. Hey, thank you so much for watching the video. Please like, please comment, please share, please subscribe to Risky Edges and turn on bell notifications. Please support independent media. Thank you.